Namaste. Welcome to this video. I just finished a meditation, solar plexus focused meditation. Basically what that means is I just go and sit with my solar plexus and my hara, those lower chakra areas, and I was just feeling so much fear come up. And what really inspired this meditation was yesterday. You could probably tell in yesterday's video, I was just like strung out. I was at the end of my rope. I was like the battery, the cell phone battery, the life force battery was blinking. It was like, please charge soon. It was just like under 5%, if that. And so I felt this calling to really pick up more of a spiritual practice again, more of a steady spiritual practice. It's like I've been in such integrity and have been upholding my responsibilities when it comes to showing up every day and creating content. I've been so on point with that. I've been so aligned with that. And that's felt really good. But I was feeling like there's room for me to bring that same integrity and that same responsibility to the preparation, to like the path of being a spiritual warrior. I noticed that as I've been in 17 different cities in the last 2 months, I've literally stayed the night in 17 different cities in the past, and towns in the past 2 months, that a steady spiritual practice is something that's really fallen away. And the practice, the steadiness of a spiritual practice is so rejuvenating on all levels: physical, mental, emotional, soul. And I've really been feeling that lacking. And it's really caught up to me. Yesterday I realized, wow, it's really caught up to me. Like not sleeping that well. In my life, as we deepen, our life becomes more of just always the state of this meditative state is like always ever present, more and more. But I was feeling into like the analogy and the comparison of like a UFC fighter. UFC fighters, when they get into the cage to perform, they may only perform for anywhere from, it could be over in a minute to 25 minutes maximum. But they spend 3, 6, 9 months sometimes preparing just for that one fight, just for that maybe at tops 25 minutes of performance. They spend months and months and months of training. And if they were to walk into that cage without all that preparation, they would probably be in for a very rough night. And I was thinking about that on my own path, how this is a warrior's path, how I feel like myself and any of you watching, we are spiritual warriors. And how I've been not as in integrity and not as committed and fulfilling my responsibilities when it comes to the training portion, when it comes to preparing to walk into that, to the octagon, to the cage, to the arena. It's like right now I'm in the arena, I'm sharing, right? This is the arena. It's like, what are we doing when we're not in the arena? And for me, it's been really hard because I've been on this crazy road trip, working through some old patterns, I've been really clinging to some old patterns for that feeling of being safe. And now that I feel like I've finally worked through that and I've let go of that and I'm just like really in free fall, the first thing the divine guided me to do was to really pick up you could say my training regimen, to get in the gym, so to speak. And so yesterday I was feeling so inspired to make this commitment to myself of it just involves meditation and yoga, and it felt so good as I was making that commitment to doing this every day again. And to really a little more structure there. And you'll notice with commitments, if they feel exciting, if you're making it from a place of curiosity, like I was really curious, what would happen if I started doing this again and was showing up? I felt like this curiosity, like, ooh, I feel like maybe, I could bring through more powerful messages, more aligned messages that may have more resonance and value and insight for all of you. Maybe the messages will come from a deeper place as I commit to showing up in the gym with the same integrity and responsibility as I have been when it comes to showing up in the arena. Like, what happens if I bring that same energy to the preparation of these videos, right? Just like a UFC fighter, a mixed martial artist, a warrior would do. It's like warriors, they would train their whole life just for maybe one battle, right? And so it's like both are so important. Yeah, we want to show up in the arena, but what are we doing when we're not in the arena? Who are we, right? And so because I've let go of, and the other point I wanted to make actually before I get ahead of myself is, if the commitment feels exciting and it's coming from a place of curiosity, like, ooh, what will happen? It feels light. That means it's a divinely guided commitment, a divinely guided, or maybe a goal or something, right? But if it feels heavy and it's weighing you down, and it feels like it comes with a sense of pressure, that's a commitment from a place of ego. I was journaling last night and I discovered that. It's like sometimes I've made commitments, even on this channel, and they felt really heavy. And it didn't feel light. It felt, it just felt like a lot of pressure. It didn't feel fun. It didn't feel exciting. That was a commitment from ego trying to get something from it. Whereas last night, it was like this commitment that just felt like free. It's like, oh, yes, this feels exciting. What might happen? And so my next point, I already lost that. Interesting. But that's really what's happened for me recently is like, because I've let go, this was the next point, because I've let go of those patterns that I was clinging to, I feel like now I'm in a place where I can really, hopefully, commit to kind of being in a place, at least the same city for a while, so that I can really bring that same integrity to the preparation. And even if the divine does move me from place to place, it's like the number one priority is upholding this commitment I've made to myself. As far as showing up to do the training, like the mixed martial artists, they show up every day to train before their fight. And it's like, I'm going to show up every day to train before making these videos, before working with clients. And that's something I usually was a lot better at, but it's so much easier to do when you're not on the road, when you're not going through all the stuff I was. But at the same time, I wasn't making it a priority. I think I still could have been doing it. I would have just had to make it a real big priority like it is now. So yeah, I think that's really what I wanted to share with you guys is, and there's a quote I wrote down. It's like, and I felt this. It's like, when we devote every moment of our life and every fiber of our being to bringing through the most light, to bringing through the most powerfully charged, for me it's like videos and writings, and for you it could be art, music, whatever. Your life and the divine will start to unfold for you in this very beautiful and synchronized way. It's like this is what Source wants from all of us, is to really devote ourselves to our craft. That could be being a parent, being a mother, being a father, being a husband, it doesn't have to necessarily be an art form. But it's like, once we step into that and once we start devoting the entirety of ourselves to it, the support from the divine, it's like you will start to be flooded with support, synchronicities. Life will unfold for you in such a way that the divine will be, as if the divine could speak to you like, yes, keep going this way. We are going to unfold life in such a way so that you can keep moving forward with this commitment. Because this is what the divine put you here to do. And when you start feeling that, you can start feeling the divine moving mountains for you, getting flooded with chills when I say this. The divine will move mountains for you to keep allowing you to keep living that life. devoting your entire being to your craft, to your gifts. And like I said, your gifts could be raising kids, it could be cooking, it doesn't necessarily have to be spiritual. Everything is spiritual, though that starts to fall away, the division between spiritual and not. You realize everything is spiritual. Yeah, and it can be your music, your art, your healing, if you're a healer, or anything. When you really start devoting yourself to that, the divine will meet you there. The divine will say, thank you for listening. Thank you for letting go of all those patterns that were keeping you from doing this, as I finally have. And thank you for letting go into this, into the unknown. And that's really what I've done. I've really let go of all the stuff. And I'm just kind of free falling now in meditation today, as I was really focusing on the hara and the solar plexus. I could feel like lots of burning there, lots of fear, and that's a great sign. That's a really great sign that you're letting go into something greater. And it's like that fear, it transforms into power, into love, into creativity. That fear is like juice. It's like, that's when you're in alignment, you can feel that like the juice of being in alignment, that like extra spiritual power starts to come online. And at first it might feel like fear in your gut, but if you just keep opening to it, it's like that fear starts to flow, and it starts to transform into love, into creativity, and you start to feel more and more in an expanded state. And so that's what happens when we let go of old patterns. A lot more of our DNA comes online, a lot more activations happen in our field. It's like our nervous system relaxes, and the more our nervous system relaxes, the more accessibility we have to more ideas and creativity. So it can really be a beautiful thing. And yeah, I think that's pretty much, there's so much more. Oh my God, it feels so good to connect to journaling again. I think this is good for this video though. Yeah, this is good. I'll make some other videos with everything else I wrote down, but so nice to connect with you all. If you would love to support my journey, I'll put a donation link in the description box, as well as a link to book a session with me. And soon, I hope, with all this freed up energy after letting go of all these old patterns and really connecting in integrity in all areas of my life, I feel like I'm feeling that more Patreon videos will start coming through. So I will put a link for that as well in the description box. Other than that, so much love. Thank you for being here. Thank you just for supporting by watching this, following along the journey, and seeing where this leads with me. Namaste.